Yeah, it needs buttons.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
I love it. Oh, yeah. This beat, though. Love it. Welcome to All Gold
That
Everything,
was exhausting.
a podcast for people who boomerang. Boomerang, boomerang, boomerang.
We boomerang.
We boomerang.
We boomeranged.
We boomeranged, I guess. Yes, you're right, in the past tense. So we have a ton of stuff to talk about, but we're kicking off by talking about how technologically savvy we are today.
Very.
Sandy and I.
Is this how you do it, Heidi?
Okay, well, here's the thing about boomerang. First of all, I want to give them the setup. Last night, Sandy and I attended the One Imaginary Girl fashion show at the Hoxton Hotel in downtown Portland as part of Design Week Portland. Boom. It's a lot of things to check the box on just to get the setup going.
You got all the names in.
All the names, all the ads, all the hashtags. So we went down there and went to that event. And one of the things we did was we sat and had a Diet Coke and we're like, let's do a boomerang. So
My brilliant idea.
was Sandy's idea.
Wouldn't it be cute? It'd be cute if we did a boomerang, Heidi.
Everyone does these cute boomerangs, like jumping in the air or whatever. So we're we decided to dial it. We're going to do a simple boomerang. We're just going to lean in and clink our glasses.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
But wait, first, even back up, Heidi was like, I don't know if I have the app. And I was like, is it an app? I think it's just on the Insta. This is how elementary we're getting.
It took us a minute to find it, but we found it. It was in our Insta. And my problem was that I thought you had to press the button down to get the video filming. But actually, it doesn't film until you let up off pressing the button. So you press the button to start it is all. You don't press the button to hold and record, which is different than all the other haptics of all the video. But anyway,
what did you just say?
The haptics, how other video operates. So in all of your
I've never known the word haptic, so you are already just woo, level the fuck up in the tech.
I might not be using it right, actually.
Okay, sorry. Well, then I'm sorry to point it out. I was impressed.
But I think it's so in all your other apps, anytime you take a video with your phone, you hold the button down to record the video. So when you're in your little camera function, you hold the button down to record it. But in Boomerang, you press it to start it and you let go, which is why I was having so much trouble with it.
I film a lot of videos of my puppy.
Yeah.
And from my camera function, I just press the button and it starts recording, and then I press the button and it stops. Just FYI.
I don't do any videos.
I only know this because I'm constantly filming my puppy.
I don't do any videos. But so we got our act together on the fucking Boomerang. Mm-hmm. And we have
After
it here.
about 17 tries.
Yeah, we have it here. So while we were doing 17
in front of people.
While we were doing 17 tries sitting at the hotel bar trying to do Boomerang, these two people behind us were trying to order drinks. So we have the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can watch the video. Mark's going to throw it up on the screen here. And it's also on all of our social media right now. So you can go to our social media and check it out. But this girl, Hannah, photobombed us so hard in this video. That she and her boyfriend or whoever she was with totally apologized several times for being clearly in the background of the video. So
in every Boomerang, 17 times. It wasn't an accident. Hannah.
So I don't know if Mark, can you put the video up so that we can so there's Hannah in the blonde. She's actually doing Boomerang almost better than we are.
She knows how to Boomerang.
She knows how to Boomerang. So anyway, we gave her our sticker and told her to listen to the show and told her we'd give her a shout out. So hey Hannah, thank you for boomeranging with us.
Yes. Our first Boomerang, it was really nice to have you a part of.
It made it feel safe and comfortable. We weren't scared at all. So we had a good time with Boomerang. The other thing that this is related to that is so you can watch the show on YouTube. And you can see the Boomerang. But the easiest way to watch the show and to watch the show on YouTube, this is a really cool new thing that we're launching. If you are an All Gold superfan and you want to be kept in the know, up to speed on all things All Gold, there's a really easy way to do that. You join our mailing list. What?
I'm on it.
We have a mailing list. So it's super easy to join the mailing list. All you have to do, Mark's putting a graphic up for this as well. All you have to do is you text the phrase all gold to the number 345345. And then we text you back and say, thank you for joining our mailing list. Give us your email address. And then we have your email address so we can let you know when we're doing cool appearances, fun events, when we have a great product that we want you to know about. But we promise to use our email list sparingly.
Correct.
You will not get a bunch of spam emails from us.
We don't have time for that shit. Truth be told, we don't have time for that shit.
Ain't nobody
Only
got time
the
for that.
important stuff. Like if we were going to Design Week Portland 2020, we would say, hey, we're going to Design Week Portland 2020. Would love to see you there.
Come
Link
meet
to
us
where
there.
you can buy the tickets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly. So currently, once you subscribe to the email list, we send you a link to our YouTube channel so that you can easily subscribe so that you can follow us on YouTube. And I have to say, and last week we made a big push for our listeners to come follow us on YouTube. Last week we had 17 YouTube followers. This week we have 22.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
subscribing.
you. Yeah. So I don't know if that's from the text thing that, where you subscribe to the email and then get there. But anyway, thank you, listeners, for subscribing to YouTube. That's bomb. So the big thing is that we went to this event last night and we saw our friend Sarah from One Imaginary Girl.
That was one of the big things.
Yeah,
I mean, there
that's
were
true.
multiple big things yesterday. Yesterday was a day of big things.
So we saw Sarah's show. Not only did we record a boomerang, but we also recorded a live video. We did a live.
And it just popped up on my phone today, like when I was driving. And I wanted to watch it, but I didn't.
Well, I'm glad you didn't watch it while you're driving. It was a little distracting.
Yeah.
But it was great. So Sarah's show this season was featured scarves and featured a lot of loungewear, which if you listen to the show that we had her on, you might remember that she was saying that PJs were coming and loungewear was coming. So after the show last night, we talked to Sarah about how great it was. And she lent us some pieces of hers from her new collection for us to be wearing while we are doing the podcast this morning. So Sandy is rocking a new pair of pajamas. These are silk pajamas. You're going to want to travel in them. They're beautiful. And I have like this editor's robe on. So it's like just this nice, long, cozy robe that you could wear really any season. So
I would totally travel in these jammies.
yeah, they were amazing. And then the models were so cool. The show last night was amazing. The models were wearing any kind of pajamas, but then they were also, all of them had the unifying theme was they had these like garden sunglasses on.
It was good.
So we've queued up a couple of the pictures of the models that we have. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can check those out. This is a model in the lady fabric that we love.
Yeah, so I guess what I would like to point out on behalf of Sarah D'Onofrio is that the theme also, they all had the sunglasses on, but really the unifying theme was
yeah.
the use of scarves.
Scarves, excuse me, you're right.
Yeah, so like I tried to emulate them here. But if you look in all the photos, on top of just wearing like these really cool designs and beautiful colors with beautiful fabrics, they all have really creative use of scarves and twillies.
That's right. And here is the model in the editor's robe that I'm wearing today. So it fits her and me. I'm basically a model.
You're basically a model. Yep.
I'll just say it might be a one-size-fits-all experience, but it was wonderful. There she is. And then there's one more that has kind of a cool look with the striped skirt and the pastels of the season. The only thing about this is, like, obviously these photos were taken on our iPhone. They're not, like, professional photos, but I'm sure Sarah has some great photos.
Oh, look, those are my jammies.
Yeah, look at that. You and that model are wearing the same jammies.
And they fit us very similarly.
They fit you both very well.
Very similarly.
So you are also basically a model. So that was super fun. So I stopped by Sarah's this morning to pick up these items for us to wear. And after I left her house, she texted me that she had been going through Instagram and that she had been looking at your Instagram and that you follow people on 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah, I do.
Sarah is a huge 90 Day Fiancé fan.
Oh, how did we miss that?
So she was like, we're going to have a viewing show. So
Yes.
there is a all gold pod, all gold everything, One Imaginary Girl, 90 Day Fiancé viewing party in the works because that is something we'll have to do together.
Well, I hope that she also follows at Mike the Real Akin, AKIN, because he's a funny guy. I think he's somewhere in Great Britain, but he does a lot of funny 90 Day Fiancé sort of satire.
Nice.
It's good.
I love it. Well, then the other thing that we did yesterday before we went to the fashion show is we went to K2 and we did Afternoon Live with Trey Renee, which was super fun.
It was so much more fun not being so nervous. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. It was really fun to show up there, to know what to expect. We got to meet a couple of people from, who did we meet? We got to hang out with a gal from Shebop who was talking about pelvic floor strength and eggs.
Was her name Gretchen?
Yes. Yeah, her name was Gretchen. Gretchen from Shebop. Oh, yeah. We'll have to give her a shout out.
She
in the
was
show notes.
not only a pro on pelvic floor strength, but she was a power lifter and a
CrossFitter. That's right. She was dope. And she does a lot of the education. Like, Shebop offers a lot of classes and stuff. And she teaches the classes on, like, how to tie someone up or how to...
I don't think it's that.
Oh, you don't think so?
Because it's like female positive stuff, so I think it's just very vagina-centered.
Oh, I actually will tell you, I'm on their email list, and so I get their emails about the classes that they teach, and they do teach like an intro to bondage and an intro to, and like an intro to anal and an intro, like they do all kinds of like, they do the whole spectrum of stuff.
Oh.
But they are very sex
We
positive.
should take
and-
one of those classes.
The problem is, which this is what Katie Arthur, who was the booking agent, was saying, was that by the time you get the email and go to the link to sign up for the classes, they're sold out.
I know, but like we're VIPs.
Yes, we are.
Get us on the list,
I don't know
Gretchen.
if you got the memo, but maybe we could have her on sometime. I don't know, something to think about. And so we did that. We got to talk to her. We also spoke with a woman named Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, I introduced myself to Elizabeth, and she was kind of nervous, and she said, "Oh, I'm Elizabeth," and I thought she said that her name was Melizabeth.
And you just went with it.
And I did. And I'm like real embarrassed, but that's kind of the headspace that I was in. I was like so amped up that it was possible in my world that somebody was actually named Melizabeth.
Well, if you're a connoisseur of reality TV as I am, it doesn't seem unusual. I'd be like, yeah, Melizabeth.
Melizabeth,
Melizabeth from the Real Housewives of Houston? Yeah, totally.
Well, Elizabeth was with Girls Inc., so we got to talk a little bit to them about their big event that they're hosting coming up. It's a huge fundraiser for them. It's called The Power of the Purse. And so they pair up with local designers and design a bag, and then the bag gets auctioned off, and it raises money for Girls Inc., which is provides programming targeted at low income or I think low income.
Yeah, she used the term low income.
She did, yeah.
Underserved
girls in the community. So
I'm like, do they have those in Portland? No, I'm just kidding. They do. They do have those in Portland.
They do. Someone who is not low income and not underserved is Kim Kardashian West.
That bitch.
Do you like what I did with that?
Yeah.
Do you like how I did that?
She is not low income. She is not
low
underserved.
income. Kim Kardashian is undertaking a new career move. Do you want to lead us into this, or do you want me to do the setup on this?
Well, all I know is bitch has decided because she's tight with Donald Trump and she got somebody pardoned.
Alice Marie Johnson. She worked on the Alice Marie Johnson case.
Right, but so did lawyers.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So did lawyers. Kim went in and gave her emotional plea, and then the lawyers did the lawyering stuff.
That's true.
And so the press came out that Kim got her pardoned. Mm-hmm. Kim was a part of it. Kim was the PR face of it.
Yeah.
And Kim got to use her celebrity to influence our president.
Yeah.
Because our president is influenced
by
breasts and celebrity.
I mean, I have breasts and I'm kind of a celebrity.
I know, but you're too powerful of a woman. You would scare the shit out of him.
I'd scare him and be, wouldn't be pretty.
So now, and then apparently it sounds like a lot of lawyers were like, wow, Kim, you've got what it takes. Kim, you have what it takes. You've got chops, Kim.
You've got chops.
You should be a lawyer. And you know what? You don't even need to go to law school.
Something called yes men is what's happening. This is the phenomenon. Well, and in the state of California, you do not have to attend law school in order to pass the bar exam. So the bar exam in the state of California is notoriously challenging. So even among people who go to law school, only 41.1% of them pass the bar after having successfully completed law school at institutions like UCLA or USC or whatever other great schools are in Stanford or something. There are a ton of great schools in California. So even people who attend those schools have a tough time passing the bar. But you can take the bar.
But professional exams should have that type of pass rate.
I agree. But you can take the bar if you have done 4 years of apprenticeship with a lawyer. So you don't necessarily have to go to law school, but you have to have put in some time at a law firm to take the bar. Now, the pass rate among those people is as low as 3%. So we will see.
But you know what? Kim has chops.
Kim has chops.
That's what her people are telling her.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that people are telling her that, but I have two things to say about this. First of all, this reminds me, there's a TV show that was very short-lived that was on, I think, Fox and is now maybe available on Hulu, and it was called The Grinder, and it starred Kevin Savage. Is that his real name? Fred Savage.
I know who Fred Savage. Oh, Kevin,
Savage,
because he was Kevin on the Wonder Years.
So it stars Fred Savage, who played Kevin on the Wonder Years, who is now an adult, and he plays a lawyer on the show, and he has this cute little family. They live in Idaho. All of the characters are so funny.
There's a TV show set in Idaho?
Yeah.
What?
I know. Can you believe it? That's the first unbelievable thing about it. The second unbelievable thing that's hilarious is that his Fred Savage's brother is played by Rob Lowe, who is hilarious in this role. Now, his thing is that he's been playing a lawyer on TV in an NCIS style show for a decade.
I see where this is going.
Now, his show comes to an end, and he comes to visit his brother in Idaho, and he discovers that he thinks he's a lawyer. And his whole family gets on board with him, Rob Lowe's, the whole family gets on board with the Rob Lowe character, becoming a lawyer, except for the brother Fred Savage, who's like, "You're not a lawyer," and he's like, "But I played one on TV for 10 years," like, and
Yes.
it's really, really sharp and funny. I wish that it would have lasted for more than one season. I'm putting a huge plug in for it because it's got a ton of sexual innuendo. It's called The Grinder. It's all very like stylized. It's super funny, and this was reminding me of like having played a lawyer on TV. Now Kim thinks that she's going to go be a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, but can I get a little cynical now?
Yeah.
So she's not going to go to law school. She's going to apprentice for some attorney that she knows really well who thinks she's got what it takes.
Yeah.
She has all the money in the world. And we know in the setting of the college admission scandal what money can get you,
Yeah.
i.e. you can
Buy
get
you
really
basically
good.
what you need,
You can get really
whatever.
good scores on standardized tests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a bar exam.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that she's recognizable? I mean, everyone knows what this woman looks like.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not saying she's necessarily going to have somebody else take the exam for her, but she has the money to buy herself a pass, is what I'm saying. And so for me, I just can't help but just, again, like I'm getting over it because I'm fully out of my naivete bubble that like justice is something that exists in this world. But like, let's be real. Kim Kardashian, if we all kind of laugh like, oh, she thinks she can take the bar exam and not go to law school. There's no way she's going to pass. Ha ha ha. But bitch is going to pass. She's
Yeah.
going to become an honorary lawyer.
Yeah.
Because this is the world that we live in. And you know what? I think she's thinking she's going to run for president.
Whoa. Oh, I
mean-
hadn't gone to that step.
Yes. And this is the world that we live in, you guys. This is the world we live in. I feel myself get tired. Killers.
The Killers, the most prolific bands. For a while there, I thought the Killers sang every song.
So
They
by
don't.
the time she's president, I hope I'll be living happily in like New Zealand. Or
Yeah,
something.
I was just thinking, I hadn't played it all the way out to a presidential run, so I was kind of wondering what her what her legal aspirations might be. I don't know, maybe
She doesn't want to grind it out in a law firm.
I was gonna say,
she
maybe
doesn't want to do
maybe
research and look up case files.
maybe
and
a
write
KKW
briefs.
on the Supreme Court or something. I don't know. Don't know. I legit don't know what she would do. Maybe I would say entertainment law, but you're right. She doesn't want to put in that much work.
It's work.
It's work.
We
That's
just
the part
talked
of it.
last episode about the couches.
All they do is maybe if she could do her legal work on a couch. Could you imagine if she's like in a courtroom, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a couch here so that I can practice.
She's going to get her honorary law degree. She's
Yeah.
going to become the face of high profile, political movements, whatever
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
And she's going to run for president.
You heard it here first. Sign up for our mailing list so that we can send you a blurb when this comes true.
Or even when people start saying it, because
That's right. Heard it here first.
This is
We'll
all
remind
me.
you. We'll
This is
remind you.
all my cynical, knowing mind.
From the brain of the real Sandy
I just catch
J.
patterns. That's all.
That's
I just
true.
catch
No,
patterns.
you're good at pattern catching. Is there more that you want to?
No.
The other thing I was going to say about Kim Kardashian is this is interesting that you mentioned that she kind of got involved with this because she went to testify on behalf of this woman. In the research that I did for last week's show, where I was watching some of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians to like be ready to talk about it, Kourtney just went and testified on Capitol Hill about like chemicals and cleaning products, or maybe chemicals and makeup. So maybe
They're making a move into politics.
yeah, I think so. That's okay. You did hear it here first. Kardashians into politics. Here we go. Ugh, brace yourselves. Okay, so the next story that we have to talk about is that Britney Spears is back in rehab.
This was shocking to me.
Yeah, this is-
I was very surprised. Apparently, this happened last week. I felt like it was really under the radar.
So the link to the article that you sent me detailed her committing herself to rehab a couple of years ago when like shit really went off the rails, where she was like driving around with her kid not in a car seat and shaved her head and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then recently, last week, her
Yes.
father had a health scare and she went back to rehab.
Yes, I
Yeah.
thought I sent you that link. I apologize. There were many links.
I'm sure.
There were many links. I'm sorry I sent you the wrong one.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
I had heard it anyway
was
because I
last
watch
week.
daytime TV now.
I didn't hear her dad was sick.
Yeah.
I did hear when her little niece got into a really bad accident.
Oh yeah, that happened.
but
while
no,
ago,
I
right?
didn't know she wasn't doing well.
Yeah, so her father has been the conservatorship she's been in conservatorship, meaning that her dad is in charge of all of her finances, all of like her adult responsibilities, really. And that's been that way since she really had that big meltdown in the early 2000s or whatever. And so he had a pretty big health scare last week. I don't know if it was like a heart thing or whatever, but she's apparently not weathering it very
I think
well.
his colon exploded.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God.
I know. That's what I read.
Oh my God. I hate that my brain just went like, that would make you a literal shitbag.
Yes.
You would just,
No, it is. It's actually very serious
I'm
because
sure it's very serious.
inside your body is clean. And when your colon explodes, all that dirty stuff gets inside your body.
Your body's full of shit.
So it said that he had, multiple surgeries and what we would call a complicated abdomen is what we call it. And it is actually very serious.
I know it is. I'm feeling like such a jerk that I said it would make him a shitbag. I feel like there was something there, like I'll workshop it.
Yeah.
I like that if we can let's call it a complicated abdomen. That's like such
he's a shitbag or a complicated abdomen. No, but it's serious. That's what I'm trying to say. It is very serious because you don't want poop in your belly.
No, you definitely
don't. It can make you very sick.
Very sick.
And it's really difficult to get it better and to put it back together.
And so it's corral it all, get it all back.
It's usually a very long process, and a lot of times the abdomen stays open during some of... I know. I mean, now I'm going to like the farthest stretch of the complications of this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a frequent occurrence. Anyway,
well, so
it's Brittany. I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about your father, and I'm sending like love and thoughts to you. And so it actually did. I was never like a huge Britney fan, but I appreciate Britney. Like I do.
Stop popping my mic. You know what? I do too. She is a staple in my life. Just like actually yesterday, Sandy and I were having lunch, and an MJ Bop Michael Jackson song came on the soundtrack to where we were sitting. So we obviously had some conflicted feelings about it, talking about like, can we still listen to Michael Jackson when it's not really a question of if, but like, to what we know that he was a child molester, blah, 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 blah. So that is an entirely different discussion. But in the same way that his music is kind of woven through early childhood for me, I mean, her music, her presence, her image, just all that stuff is like woven into it's deeply part of my pop culture life. She's a bop and like she's part of it. And like her brand, even if it's not her, I mean, I guess that's the thing, right? Because it's like, I don't know Britney. I don't understand what she's like. I don't know what happens in her brain, but like her image is so part of my cultural experience.
Yeah. Well, I think part of my cultural experience, because I'm like a little bit older, so Britney came a little bit later. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson is definitely like part of my DNA, where Britney isn't. However, being that I was able to follow her ups and downs, and I remember seeing her when she was still really young in around her first record, and seeing like the dead behind her eyes look, knowing something was going on, that something wasn't right, and she was still trying to pretend things were right.
Yeah.
So to see her go through her up and downs, and then everybody loves a good comeback story, and that's what Britney Spears is. And so now that she's a woman and a mother, and with this comeback story, like I just can't help but like appreciate her and respect her, and then respect her as an artist, because she made a pretty good comeback for herself with her residency in Vegas.
Vegas was amazing. I mean, I would still love to go see it. I hope it comes back, because I would love to go see it. Yeah. But I mean, I think really it's something that, one of the things that about it is, I guess, that although she has tremendous privilege, right? Like she's sitting on a fortune that none of us can even really understand. Like
I don't think she can understand it.
She can't understand it. She's in like a very elite, like I would classify her along with like Mariah Carey, probably Michael Jackson, like probably a couple of other like true, like hugely superstars. Celine Dion probably, although her fortune came when she was old enough and she had a husband that she trusted that she allowed to manage it, that did well by her, that didn't throw her under the bus. Anyway, all to say, it really humanizes her to know, like, no matter what kind of privilege you have or access you have, like, shit, life comes at you on life's terms. And like to watch someone like fucking do life and, maybe not gracefully, and have to do it in the public eye, and have to be growing up while everyone watches, like, and then kind of come out the other side of it as a comeback is like, that's good,
Right. But so that's why I was really surprised to see that, again, she's not well. And it wasn't clear because the article that I read, it like alluded to rehab, but then it also alluded to like general mental health.
Yeah.
Institutionalization.
Right.
And I do think she probably is a dual diagnosis.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually realize that addiction was even a player in her situation. So
my guess would be pills. I would guess pills. Pills take so many people out.
It just made me really sad.
Yeah.
And I just hope that she does get better.
Well, and the one thing I was thinking is, at least it didn't get as bad this time outwardly, right? Like she wasn't outwardly acting out as much this time as she has previously. So it's like she's done a little less damage. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's like maybe she's in a little less pain. I guess, in order to get help like
I doubt she's in a little less pain.
I was just kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I just want to finish the sentence, which is that, in order to like hit that rock bottom and like have to get some help like that, you got to be in some pain. And like I have learned that like I don't have to be at the very bottom before I ask for help. So I'm I'm wondering, like, is it possible that, like, she saw shit was, like, the wheels were coming off and was like, you know what, I'm just going to go get some help for this while I can, you know? I don't know. Just something to
Yeah, I think
consider.
that's unlikely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, ask for help. You're talking about, like, calling a girlfriend. You're not talking about checking yourself into rehab.
Yeah.
You check yourself into rehab when you're in a pain that, you know, you're going to die or you go to rehab.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the way I see it. She does have people in her lives, you know, kind of micromanaging her, so it could have been not her choice.
Right, that's true.
But yeah, I think I don't see any way around that she's in a great deal of pain right now. I don't see any way around it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just like, well, I'm just not comfortable
things
feeling
are
these
going-
feelings anymore,
yeah.
so I'm going to go to rehab.
Oh.
I mean, there are times I wish I could just be like, yeah, I'm going to stop life.
I mean, I was going to say there are people who like just kind of put life on pause for it. It really doesn't matter why. The point is like that she's going to, you know, hopefully she'll get better and get some help that she needs and, you know, whatever. So thinking of Britney, sending a little love ray to her. Being in a lot of pain is something that this woman experienced. Sandy sent me an article this week about a woman who had some eye irritation. And was like, my eye hurts.
This was so gross.
This was a really gross article. I read the headline and then I figured like, I'll just let Sandy tell me the rest of it. And it turned out that there were bees living in her eye. I'm assuming in like her tear ducts or something or.
Yeah, they were feeding on her tears. That's what it said. And so she went to the doctor and the doctor was like, you know, having her look all around and looking and saw like a little leg.
Or a wing or oh my God.
And then upon, you know, irrigating and flushing, and I mean, this is no major surgery happening here. This is just you're at the doctor and he's telling you to look around and he's flushing and irrigating your eye out. And revealed 3 bees.
How big?
In her eye.
Did it show? Like, I mean, were we talking?
They
like,
said the biggest they get is like a half inch. So they're like a quarter to a half inch long. They're called sweat bees.
I know what you're talking about now. Now I know exactly what you're talking about. That I don't know how you wouldn't feel that. Like, I don't know how you wouldn't feel them like moving around. I don't even know.
3 of them.
3 of them.
I'm
like
never going to look at my eyes the same again.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to do this to my eyes every single day just to press out the bees.
Yeah, you got to press out the bees.
Press the bees out.
You got to press the bees out.
I want to know.
Like, do you ever have that fear though? Like you got something in your eye and you're like, could I have a spider in my eye or a spider in my nose or could I have
spider in my ear? Ear would be a good one. I feel like I wore contacts for a long time. I got very used to like putting stuff in and out of my eyes. I got very used to my eyes being irritated. So I feel like eyes is not actually a huge thing until now that I would have much concern about. But ears is like a little more unknown. Like I don't know what's really in there or like nose, you know? Yeah. I would be
it's
worried.
like I think in my ear, like I think when I was a kid, I used to be a little bit obsessed with like, did something crawl in my ear while I was sleeping? I feel like this story is going to bring that back.
Yeah,
like there actually could be an insect in one of my orifices. And I need to look for it.
I will say that I have read enough stories about people swimming and like having. We did a story once. Oh my God, your face! You know where this is going. We did a story once where there was a guy that had been swimming and a parasite swam up his urethra and then he had like a big parasite in his dick or something.
Yes.
I mean, I will say, I don't think it's a common fear that I have anymore, but like as a kid or teenager, I feel like I was a little worried about like, can stuff go in up there or like, how do I make sure it all comes out?
And how far up can they go?
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
really.
How long can it live? Like, you know, so yeah, orifices are terrifying. We have a lot of them to keep track of.
And now when I feel like just a little weird feeling, I've gotten really accustomed to just blowing it off. It's nothing. It isn't nothing. You need to look.
It's a fucking beehive. It's a beehive in your eyes.
It is bees or spiders or whatever weird insect.
Parasites. That is one that does freak me out. Parasites.
Right.
I forgot about that.
I guess that they would only live there if there's something they could live on. So the sweat bees were living on her tears.
Well, I can't get rid of my tear. I mean, I need my tears.
So just metaphoric. Like, can she please write a poem called "The Sweat Bees Feeding Off My Tears"?
Oh my God, a book, please.
A Motley Crue song,
yeah,
maybe?
This is the title of your book. Speaking of Motley Crue, okay, that was a great segue. I love it. So Sandy and I both watched the highly stylized film The Dirt on Netflix. This is not a documentary. I thought it was a documentary. It's obviously not. No, it's
Did you think
not.
it was before you watched it? Or
yes,
after?
before I watched it, I
Okay.
thought it was a documentary.
Well, I was like, maybe you thought so after.
Yeah, no, I watched it. And so we talked about it last week. This was super fun to watch. It was highly stylized, really colorful, fast paced, told from all four perspectives. So you get to hear from each of the band members or
Fast
whatever.
paced, no depth. It was
No
like
depth,
it
yeah.
was just like a fact. Like we're throwing out some facts at you.
Yeah.
There's no depth, no story arc.
No, not
nothing.
even a little bit. I mean, I watched it while I had a migraine.
We're just gonna hit you with images of women squirting.
That's
Like,
true. Yeah,
that's what it is.
It does open with that, which was
Yes.
like pretty explicit. I was going to say prolific, but I mean explicit. It was quite explicit. So, so anyway, one of the things that came off of the movie for me was like, first of all, Tommy Lee Jones, not Tommy Lee Jones, Tommy Lee, different person. This is like the Cheryl Strayed versus Cheryl.
I was just thinking.
What's
that.
her name? Now I can't think of the other one from Facebook. Cheryl Strayed versus Cheryl Sandberg. Okay. Tommy Lee versus Tommy Lee Jones. So Tommy Lee comes off looking, in this movie, Tommy Lee comes off looking like you just want to be friends with him.
Dude, bro.
He's like so happy.
He's so funny.
His biggest problem is that he just loves too much. He like loves love. He wants to be in love so bad.
Until he like punches his girlfriend.
Yeah, there is one.
But he felt so bad about it.
He felt so bad. He had a lot of shame. He ran to the back of the bus right away.
And then it was never addressed again.
Never addressed again. Nobody talked about it again. So if you were only to watch the movie, you would think that Tommy Lee maybe overreacted once and like just loved love. But I mean,
he felt
really,
so bad about it. He never did it again.
Never did it. He was the one guy that apologized and then never did it again.
Yeah.
But
and he used a lot of drugs, but like never had a problem with addiction.
No,
he didn't.
Never, not even. Never.
He just went to rehab with the band for fun.
Because they all went.
Yeah.
Because they were all having like, oh, the wheels are coming off. Guess we should go to rehab. Together. And they were a sober band for a minute. So anyway, now we gave you all the spoilers. You should still watch it if you want to have something on in the background or whatever. But my thing about watching this was like, okay, the reason I got on the Tommy Lee digression was because the kid who is playing Tommy Lee is like having so much fun. Now this is a picture, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is just a still from the film or whatever, and I couldn't find what, but he honestly, the actor who is playing Tommy Lee, I feel like he could be smiling ear to ear the whole thing. He's having such a bop in this movie. So for the show, I'm like, oh, who plays Tommy Lee? Do you know who plays Tommy Lee?
I don't know who he is, but I feel like Joey told me.
I didn't know this until I Googled it. It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes.
Underneath a black wig and in these tight pants. Okay. So I also...
That was back here.
I knew you knew that. Your response is indicative.
I was like, this came up and I don't remember. But do you have more to say? Because do you know who played McMars?
No, I do have one more thing to say about about Machine Gun Kelly, which is, so after I learned I was like, oh, Machine Gun Kelly, that's great. You know what? He was also in
Bird Box.
Yes. That's right. Yeah. So I feel like Machine Gun, if rapping doesn't work out, like just go be an actor because you're having a fun time in all the things you're doing.
One blazing truth about this
film
is that nobody was a good actor in this film.
Nobody.
With the exception of Vince Neil's daughter.
Oh yeah, she made me cry.
She was the actress of the whole film. She had some chops.
Yeah, somebody line her up for something good.
These people were ridiculous. It was like you could almost see the lines reflecting back in their eyes as they were reading them off a prompter.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It's true.
It was bad.
And it was just fun to watch Tommy or Machine Gun Kelly play Tommy Lee because he was just like,
He was,
you know,
dude, bro,
So what about the character that played McMars?
Oh my gosh! Like, so Joey's like staring at him. He's like, "Who is that guy? I know that guy." And then it was like about, I don't know, 75% into the film, and Joey's like, "It's Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones."
Oh, I don't watch Game of Thrones.
He's like, "It's the guy who tortured Sansa." And I was like, "Oh, it is him!"
Game changer. It is kind of a fun because nobody is acting, as you said, so it's like kind of weird just watching everyone walk around in costume for the whole show. And the costumes
ruined my.
You ruined your bun.
Excited.
Mind the bun.
I knocked out my Twilly.
Because everyone's just walking around in costume and like having a great time in this movie. It's kind of fun to be like, that person looks familiar. Who is that? And they're all wearing ridiculous black wigs and like stupid makeup. So they kind of all look like they just went to a Halloween store.
Yes.
I don't know. It's funny.
And was Vince Neil really that tiny? Did they choose a tiny actor because he was really tiny?
He might be.
I'm talking about him like he's dead. Is Vince Neil really tiny?
I don't know. And actually, I often confuse Vince Neil with Brett Michaels.
I know, me too.
I
It was
can't tell the
really
two of them
hard
apart.
for me to keep them straight. I'm like, when are they going to play Every Rose Has Its Thorn? Come on. God.
I don't know. If you have a free hour and 40 minutes, you might want to watch this. It is like whatever. It's whatever.
I would say it's a ride, but it's not a ride because it's like a straight line.
Yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere.
It's just a straight line of like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
That's all it is. There's no
That's it.
story. There's no arc.
There's not
Nothing's
even really an
compelling.
ending.
And when they threw in the poor kid with open heart surgery or cancer, stomach cancer, I think she actually had open heart surgery in real life.
Okay.
I don't remember. I might be getting that confused. No, I'm getting a
Vince Neil's daughter?
a hard no.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer.
And it's from the neighborhood they lived in.
Oh, like
the
was
book.
that like some Aaron Brockovich inspired shit? Did Aaron Brockovich get her Kim Kardashian lawyer on and get on the case and like fucking sue them, the neighborhood people?
That'll be in more dirt.
I think that Vince Neil should
Dirt
take the bar
too.
exam.
More dirt.
Vince Neil should take the bar exam.
More dirt, Vince Neil takes the bar
Oh
exam.
my God. Can we please do like a celebrity reality show where all the celebrities take the bar exam?
And they're all studying hard for it.
7 celebrities live in a house studying
What
for
is
the
the
bar
precedent
exam.
for Brown v. Board of Education?
Just wait till things stop getting polite and start getting real. It'd be like a cross between the real world, celebrities.
That's my brief.
You're plagiarizing that.
You
and
stole
you
my
know
brief.
It.
It was my...
I'm dead. So we'd have Kim Kardashian, Vince Neil. Who else? I feel like we should probably also have maybe Machine Gun Kelly. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
All of the people from the dirt, maybe. I don't know. Now I have to think about that. For next show, I want to know who we'd have on that reality show. That would be so fly.
It would be like the celebrity judge, like what's his name?
Van Jones?
Van Jones.
Yeah, or
that
like,
kind of Van Jones. I used to be such a big fan of his
Grace
until
Howard?
he sold his soul. Now I see you're selling to Kim Kardashian too, Van Jones. Just God.
He actually said something very nice about her being a lawyer. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston, did you hear about this?
No.
She wants to distance herself from her good friend Jimmy Kimmel because she disapproves of Jimmy Kimmel's friendship with the Kardashians.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That Jen Aniston, I feel like I want to get to know her.
Well, apparently she, this is just what's in the, what's reported in the tabloids, I guess. Do we still call them tabloids
Yeah,
or is
we
it just
do.
news? It's news.
We are not news.
This is what's reported in the news is that sources say Jennifer Aniston is pretty elitist about her group of friends. And so that's why she's being really hard on Jimmy Kimmel is because she doesn't think that the Kardashians are legitimately good enough to be in the group of friends.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what I read on TMZ.
She's ruthless. We just gave advice yesterday for people to be
Yeah.
ruthless. I like a fucking ruthless bitch, so
yeah,
let's
she's
do
got
it.
chickens.
She's got chickens and dogs.
She's got chickens
She's
and
friends
dogs.
with Chelsea
and
Handler.
she
They're
just
best
likes
friends.
to have a good rosé.
Yeah.
They're not best friends anymore.
Oh, do they have a falling out?
They had a falling out.
Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
I don't. Tell me.
Chelsea Handler apparently leaked some news to the media about Jen's bad relationship with Justin Theroux because Chelsea Handler knew that they weren't going to work out and knew that he wasn't right for her. And Jen Aniston didn't want to hear it.
Didn't want
and
anything
so
to do with
Chelsea
that.
Handler said, well, I'm going to tell some people in the media. And so they fell out over that. It's like kind of a classic case of your friend knowing that you're not going
lying
to
to
work out
yourself.
and not really being able to just shut the fuck up and stay in their own lane. Because I mean, it's like it doesn't sound intuitively like that's the right thing to do, but that's what Chelsea Handler should have done if
Just
she
kept her mouth
wanted
shut.
to stay friends with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so they are no longer friends. Look at me.
Look at you. We are podcasting in the morning right now. And We are
Yes.
slaying today. We've got coffee
on.
instead of
It's
DC.
on.
We're working in our pajamas.
I'm remembering shit.
You are remembering shit. This is I'm obsessed with it. It's
Yes.
great. The other two things. Oh, we only have one more kind of like pop culture thing to talk about, which is we're wrapping up. I don't know. We might talk about the Varsity Blues scandal forever.
I know. Is that ever going to wrap up?
I don't know. But Lori Loughlin is living her best damn life, even though shit's getting real, because she's like signing autographs at the courthouse. She's going to yoga. She's doing her best to just like have a normal ass life. So
She really
she don't give a shit.
She's the baddest bitch in the room.
She is the baddest bitch
She
in the room.
is.
I wish.
That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I mean, minus the whole cheating and lying and fraud shit. But like that's how you do it. You're the baddest bitch in the room, and she was the baddest bitch in that courtroom, not taking that plea deal because she thought they were bluffing.
Yeah. And
She could be sitting where Felicity Huffman is sitting right now, but she's not.
She's not. And I just feel like I wish we had some video of her signing these autographs outside the courthouse, because she
Right.
like thinks it's a goddamn Full House Lori Loughlin fan club out there. And it kind of is. And she's just like, yeah, she could not be bothered.
No, maybe
Not
she
bothered.
really truly knows that no press is bad press.
Yeah.
And she probably, I mean, she might be zen as fuck and knowing that she is going to come out of this just fine.
Yeah.
You know, because nothing's happened yet. So we all think she's going to jail, but Jussie Smollett didn't go to jail.
Right.
You know,
All kinds of rich people don't go to jail.
All kinds of rich people in the public eye don't go to jail. So she
OJ got
might,
a couple of chances to not go to jail before he finally went to jail.
but that's because he broke into somebody's hotel room and stole shit.
Yeah, I
it's like,
mean-
come on, OJ. So I guess
I mean, if you got off of a double homicide charge once, would you not just lay the fuck low forever?
I would lay the fuck
You
low
would do
forever.
nothing.
I would
fucking have Whole Foods deliver my shit to my house.
I would move to a developing country to murder people. I would not do it in the United States. I would.
We are on fire today.
I'm like,
This show is lit.
I'm taking my
obsessed.
murdering to Cambodia. Nobody
Whoa.
give a fuck.
Okay, first of all, Cambodia's got enough murder, so you're gonna have to pick somewhere else. Okay.
Venezuela.
Are you sure? Also, lots of murder there.
That was really fucked up.
Okay. How about you go to Norway with your murdering?
No, that's not a developing country.
it's
People
not.
care.
Oh, God. Wow. Well, anyway, you would just.
People care about the white people in Norway.
Here's the thing. You
You're
would
gonna
just
let me get away with it.
You would lay the fuck low if you got
Yes.
away with double homicide, right? So anyway, Lori Loughlin is not taking the lay low advice. I mean, she is fucking out there doing what she damn wants, which
Right,
is
but I think that she might be smarter than all of us, and she might know that she's gonna come
blow
out in
over.
a much better place than where she started.
yeah, I agree. I haven't talked about her this much ever.
Right.
So,
Right.
frankly.
Exactly.
To be completely frank. So, oh my God, what a week. What a week of full and crazy stuff. It was an insane, I mean, this was just yesterday. I just have to say, I told Sandy this yesterday. Like, I never in a million years would have imagined that my workday yesterday would consist of like waking up, walking the dogs, getting ready to go on TV with Sandy, going on TV, going to a fashion show, shooting the shit there with people, taking live videos, and then coming in the morning in pajamas and podcasting. Like, what is this? This is crazy. I'm obsessed with it.
I never thought that my day off would look like that.
It's amazing. It is amazing. We have a great listener question for this afternoon or this morning. Are you ready to move into advice realm listener question mode?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I'm so on. I'm going to tell you what to do.
You're using more than 7% of your brain. What is that movie? Oh, Limitless, where Bradley Cooper takes the drugs that like let you use all of your. You're not taking drugs, but I mean that let you use all of your brain.
It's called caffeine.
It's called caffeine.
And it's like high potency caffeine.
Yes. Okay, so here is the listener question. She sent this listener sent this question yesterday or last week, sorry, while she was listening to the show. Listening to a show right now, and I have a question. What are some realistic ways to analyze a large age difference between people newly dating? I went on a date with a guy, we had a great time, but he's 11 years older than me. My thoughts right now are ranging from age is just a number to this can never work, just say no. Is there a middle way?
I like that she is asking how to analyze a relationship. She used the word analyze.
Analyze. Can I get some data, please? I'd like to put it in my Excel spreadsheet and crunch the numbers on this one.
Step one, you don't have to analyze it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I do think as I was reading this question, I had an intuitive thought about like knowing what she wants and if that's compatible with what he wants. And that's kind of an important question to know all the time. Not kind of. That's an important thing to know all the time. But my thoughts about it for this are like, especially if you're a woman who wants to have a family, a large family, an age difference like that might make a big difference, right? Like somebody who's 11 to 15 years older than you might not want a large family simply because of their advanced age, their maturity.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to have clarity on all the time, I guess. So that's kind of like my first kind of off the cuff thought about age difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what I think. I think there are so many things that matter about deciding to continue to date somebody that an 11-year age difference is not one of them.
Yeah.
If all the other things are in alignment, that age difference is like, it's not even, it's just, see, I can't actually think of words.
You
It
used
doesn't
all of them.
matter. I used all my words. It's negligible.
Yeah.
11 years is actually negligible if you guys are in alignment in your values and what you want out of life and yada, yada. You know, there's obviously baggage that comes along as you continue to experience many years of life, which I'm thinking about children and ex-wives.
Yeah.
And is that something that you are okay with if that is what's happening for this person? So there are things that come along with dating an older man that may or may not be deal breakers, but it is not simply the age or the 11-year age difference.
Yeah, I 1000% agree that it would be convenient to be like, well, this is too old or this age difference is too big, but I really don't think that that is realistic. So for me, I was thinking more like as long that the age really doesn't matter as long as your values line up and as long as your ideals for what your relationship looks like lines up and as long as you can accept, which I think as a woman who dated in her 30s, you know, Jeff and I'm 38 now. We met when I was 34. So I was doing a lot of dating in my mid 30s and I was already starting to meet fewer and fewer people, fewer and fewer men that had less and less baggage. By the time I was 34, every man I dated had at least been like brokenhearted once or had been divorced, right? So like there was an ex-wife to contend with or like a very serious ex-girlfriend, you know, that had...
Those are even worse.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, they're usually still in love with them.
That's true.
By the time you're married and divorced, you're like, fuck, I'm done with that bitch. Gotta.
That's true. I hadn't thought about what. Never again. Email me never. So, you know, by the time we're in our 30s dating anyway, mid 30s, like usually people have some kind of baggage already, whether that's like some kind of addiction, some kind of ex, some kind of family wreckage, some kind, you know, maybe some kids with someone else or whatever. So like, I hate to call kids baggage, but it's like just convenient. Let's just lump it all together.
I mean, they
right?
are. And baggage isn't a bad thing. Like I'm just using it as a
category,
it's a collection of life experiences, and baggage is a really good way to describe it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Because you put the collection in the bag.
You just a nice bag. You put it in.
Some bags are really nice. Some bags are really shitty. Some people need new bags.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that as long as this person's life experiences match up with what what your values are, or you're open to accepting someone that has those life experiences, and then the next thing is like as long as your values for a future together are symbiotic or in line, and you'll learn more and more about that as you date more and more, then the age itself really doesn't matter that much.
No, not with 11 years. You know, it will when you're getting into 20 plus years, because then it is very difficult to deal with somebody who's aging when you're not. Somebody's in a whole different phase of their life when you're not. And then I might say, yeah, you might want to use a little bit more caution, because right now it seems good, but it is tough with...
Right.
I think it would be very challenging for two people to grow together.
Yes.
Who are in such far different phases of life. And I think that comes when there's a greater than 20-year age difference.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's true for 11 years, especially with men when men are the older ones.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, because you're right, there is a difference. 30 to 50, you know, a 30-year-old woman dating a 50-year-old man is fine. It's like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, right? But then shift that timeline 10 years and now you're looking at 40 and 60 or even 50 and 70. And then you're right, you're into two really different phases of life. And one of the phrases you use that I love is the discussion of growing together, because that is the point of relationship, right? Like we're in relationship with someone, we're going to grow at different speeds. We're going to grow in different kind of vectors, but we're both committed to growing together, you know? And
haptics and vectors. We are fucking smart.
Physicists!
Sorry.
You want to take your advice from smart people like us, so anyway.
But I really feel the use of the word vectors, because you're talking about you're growing, it's not just linear, right?
No, right.
Yeah, so I appreciated that.
Oh, yeah.
As a fellow nerd, I appreciated that.
I love it. So that is the answer I think that we have for that question this week, is just that, like, you know, more than the age difference is the values that you hold, the ideals that you hold for your relationship, the ideals that you guys might hold together for what the future looks like. So
yeah. And so I guess my question to you is, do you have an ideals list? Because that's a really good place to start. If this person checks all your boxes, or at least the ones that you can answer now, I would not let the age stand in the way of pursuing it.
Yeah.
It would be really hard to be like, how are you going to write that text? Like, oh, so I thought about it, and the 11-year age difference is just not going to work. Bye.
Well, that would be the simplest form of the truth, which I often do suggest, but that would be a challenge.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm glad that we agree on that one. That was easy peasy. peasy. Thank you so much for sending us a listener question. We can answer your questions and fix your life too. All you have to do is send your listener questions to us. You can DM them to us. I'm at honeybee52 on Instagram. Sandy is at The Real Sandy J on Instagram. The podcast is at all.gold.pod on Instagram, or you can email us at goldengirls@allgoldpod.com. There are so many ways that we can help you.
Yes. And you can watch us doling out some dating do's on KATU if you go to their website.
That's right. In case you missed it, the clip from yesterday from our visit with Trey Renee and K2 is live on our Facebook page. So all you have to do is click the link there. You go to All Gold Everything Podcast. On Facebook, you can watch it. Otherwise, if you want to do a little detective work, a little digging, you can go to k2.com and you can go on the afternoon live segment. You can click on afternoon live segment, and then you can click on, I think it's like the living or like lifestyle segment, and we're like the first clip up there. There's not, the JPEG that's on there is not a picture of us though. It's like a picture of two people holding hands. So it's like very romantic. But once you press play on it, then you get to see our smiling faces. So it was such a fun, it has been such a whirlwind 48 hours. I think that's all we've got for today's show. We are sending lots of love, light, and gold from Portland. Don't forget to
stay vigilant.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.